Hey guys, I would like to show you how to work with the Sprite Particle System. So at the beginning, let's create a empty game object. Let's call it a Parent Sprite. And let's add our Sprite Particle System. Each game object which one you want to turn into Sprite Particles, it has to contain Sprite Renderer, Rigid Body 2D, and Polygon Collider 2D. So let's say we would like to set head of this frog to be Sprite Particles. So what we have to do at the beginning, we have to go to shape editor, and in shape editor we have to select the region. In our case it's the region of the head, which one we want to turn into the sprite particle. So let's go to this, at beginning reset. Let's make the gizmo points smaller over here. Actually what this button does reset is resets the points into same points which ones are in Polygon Collider. So when you look at the Polygon Collider, you can see that points of Polygon Collider are the same as our points in the shape editor. So now let's click on the particle system and let's select just the head of the frog. If you would like to delete some point, you need to press Shift and then click on a point. And if you would like to add a point between two other points, you need to hover over the line and click here, and it will automatically create a point. There we go. What we need to do next, we need to set area which one will be untouched, which one will not turn into sprite particle. So we can click here on sprite borders, and we need to create area which one will be, let's say, untouched. There's a small helper to it, so we can show as a reference our head, and we can also snap to the reference point. So for example, let's drag this point closer to the reference point of our head, and it will automatically snap. There we go. And what we need to do next, we need to set points of the Polygon Collider for the leftover. By leftover, I mean this part. In this case, we will not need them, so let's say we will disable collider. There we go. Now let's set the origin. Origin can be set as the point or as the edge. What is origin? Origin is basically determining direction of our sprite particles. So basically every single particle now in this head, as we see here, will move outside of the point of the origin. However, you can change it in here to set a spread to 1 to higher value when the direction will not be directly outside from the point, but it will vary. You can also set origin to be line or edge, and what this does, it sets every single particle to move perpendicularly away from the edge. So let's say when we set edge over here, so every single particle, in our case it's just top of the head, will move away in perpendicular direction from the edge, so it will move up. Let's say if we set it over here, so now every single particle will move to the right. When we set it in the middle, half of the head will move to the left and half of the head will move to the right. But let's keep it simple, let's keep it as a point for now, and let's do spread to 1. Let's set the type of the emitter. We have two options. Burst, every single sprite particle is emitted at one time, and emitting over time. Delay between emissions, count how many particles are emitted in one delay, and the random. Generally, the first particles which ones are emitted are the ones which ones are the furthest from origin. However, when you set random to be 1, particles from the random positions will be emitted. So let's set it now to burst. And now let's go to main section, general. In section general, you set all the starting values of the particle systems. Refine sets how small the particle systems are. Let's make them the smallest as possible. Destroyable, it will destroy particles over the selected lifetime. Let's keep them those. Starting velocity, let's set it as a constant 0.1. So force scale, normalize force scale, so each particle, the force scales is set to be 1. However, when you set increase with distance with origin, then the particles which ones are further away from the origin will have higher scale, and vice versa. Start rotation, let's keep it same. Start color, we can change it between 2 colors. Let's do between the red and green. There we go. Gravity modifier, let's say to 0.01. Simulation space. When you set simulation space to be local, all Sprite particles will be generated as children of the parent sprite. When you set it to the world, all the particle systems are instantiated, generated in a scene without the parent. Sorting layer, ordering layer is the same color the tab, and pre-instantiate and pre-warm. When we tag pre-instantiate, it will create sprite particles at start function. When we leave it, the sprite particles will be instantiated when you call function play. Pre-warm, when the pre-warm is ticked, the particles are pre-warmed immediately after they are pre-instantiated. What does it mean? That their initial values, most of them from the general foldout, are assigned. So let's do pre-instantiate and pre-warm. So now let's hit play and we see what will happen. Okay, we see that head already turned into colors. Why did this happen? It happens because the particle were already pre-warmed. So the start color was already assigned. Now when we hit a play, we call the play function. The sprite particles are moved. So what we want to do, we want to set simulation space to word. I forgot about this one before. And we don't want two particles to be pre-warmed. So let's keep it now. There we go. It's our head, our frog. And now when we click apply, the head should turn to different colors and it should move. There we go. Now let's do some different stuff. What does rotation do? It rotates a sprite particle in turns per second. So let's say we have 1 turn per second and here 3 turns per second. So let's start now. Let's go to scene and let's hit play. And there we go. Oh yes. Oh yes, I see problem. The problem is that we set it destroyable and lifetime to be 0. So let's fix that. Let's fix that to 3 and 5. Let's hit play. There we go. They should work now. There we go. And slowly fading in. Nice. What you can do, play. There we go. And as you can see, the first particles, which ones are going away, are the ones which ones are furthest from the origin. Okay. What I would like to show you also, let's change this one back to the point, and I would like to show you what happens when you set refine to the higher value. Let's hit play. There we go. So this is everything for now. And when you go to link below, you can go to Unity Assessor, where you can purchase Sprite Particle Systems. You have multiple scenes where you can see other stuff what you can do with Sprite Particle System.